Be live. You're gonna bring your video on here. You're in a place to
Oh,
do
I,
that.
I don't actually. I don't have a. I think I'm going to keep my video off for the moment.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, there we go. Welcome, folks. This is a AI transition workshop, a working group for applying AI to our eco village communities and the resource-based economies. I'm joined today with Travis Grant, and we invited a variety of other people, and they might show up in the middle of this, but we're getting started, and we're going to start talking about some of the ideas and the things that we have in mind for building this as kind of as a networking group where we can bring information and resources together. I'm going to share my screen here real quick, and I'll bring this up. Where are we at here? Share. Boom. There we go. So I'm going to pull this over so I can see a little better. Bear with me. Didn't go like there. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, before we get started, let's begin with introductions. Travis, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, and where AI fits into your scope and your plan, and what you'd like to get out of a working group that we will eventually attract more people to get involved in.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for setting this up. So yeah, my name's Travis. I coordinate Project Auravana. We develop a set of socio-technical standards for a community type configuration of society, a type of configuration of society that's often referred to as a resource-based economy, but it has a number of other different names as well. We refer to it as a community type society, a type of society where there is no market, no trade, no state coercion, no class, and basically represents and reflects the principles of community. So I'm here because, Chris, you set up this working group, and I'm very interested in AI. AI is becoming a significant, or will hopefully in the near future be a significant part of the standards development process, and also learning about the standards themselves. So Auravana produces a set of socio-technical standards, as I just as recently described. In the past 5-6 months, we've actually been developing an AI chatbot ourselves. It's been going pretty slow. The context window is pretty small. It does have memory. At first, we were going to use have the chatbot for the website and have it be a web-based chatbot, but that turned out to be a little bit too complex. So we're going to have the chatbot in Telegram. So you'll basically be able to add it to a Telegram group, and it will facilitate conversation about the standards in the Telegram group. We're using Raptor. I think at the present moment, they are Chat GPT embeddings, but we can change that. I actually thinking more about Llama. But this is kind of why I was hoping to work with this working group, because to be honest, I don't know that much about this, and I haven't spent that much time. I've been relying on the developer who's working on this in Python code to basically do all the discovery and research for me, because I mean, I don't have enough time in my own development with the standards to actually do the development or myself, or to even to bring myself up to speed on this, because I'm actually bringing myself up to speed on a future aspect of this, where AI will not only be integrated into the working groups, but it'll be integrated into the decision system itself. If you know anything about the Auravana standards, a societal system is separated into 4 primary systems. And so that AI is now being integrated into the social system, and then it will be integrated into the decision system, and eventually we'll see it integrated into material operations. But I think that's for the distant future. So thank you for bringing this working group together. I hope that in future sessions we can achieve something pretty significant, and I hope to learn a lot from this too. And I see you've made 2 outlines, the mind map here, and so I'll just kind of briefly go over the Auravana stuff. So yeah, we have the standards, then we have the archive collection, which Alfresco says related to our common direction, known communities. Yep, associated projects, the Venus Project, Auravana Humania, Network State, Civilization Emerging. We're all basically kind of, at least the Auravana Project, are licensing is open source. It's just, if you want to know, for everything we release, it's it's a Creative Commons left license. So it's a true community license. It keeps the content in community. Research topics: agriculture, climate, health, well-being. Yep. Training, and then up at the top, future meetings format. Yeah, I really like the way you kind of organized this meeting today. On the link that you sent, was very, very well structured. I think, in the future, if we have this sort of well structured meeting, we could really achieve a lot. Development priorities, catalog resources, specific AI apps. So we are actually using AI. We're taking some of Elizabeth's renders that she's exported in Lumion, and we've been using AI. Just kind of give you a brief overview, and then I'll stop talking for a moment. We've been using AI to turn some of her renders into more kind of realism type images, and also get more inspiration. I've also been using ChatGPT and Claude a bit for the further development of the standards. And because of we're working on economic calculation now, we're also using Claude's project React code. It can create web apps. So we're playing with the ability to create an economic calculation web app with linear programming. Linear programming is a significant part, nonlinear and linear program, significant part of the next version of the decision system, and is actually the mathematics that run machine intelligence right now. So you can see how all of this sort of fits together. That's where we are. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Well, so now there's some folks that might see this and they may not be as technically informed. There's a lot of people that are like, hey, I'm really excited about this whole movement, but I'm new to the concepts and that sort of thing. And part of what I hope to do with a group like this is really allow it to be a networking group where people, because a lot of people have, everybody that comes in here is going to have some kind of an agenda of what they'd like to see happen. And so what I would hope is that this ends up being a bit of a networking group where people can share ideas and it can be evolving and people can be helping each other with projects. There's so much information and so many new developments in this. To kind of give an introduction of how this AI transformation, workshop started. About a year ago, I started getting pretty excited and ambitious about all the things that were happening in AI. I started working in AI about 8 years ago through my development company and through what we were trying to help people become aware of with the potential in future of technological advancements, etc. So what about a year ago, I started putting together these presentations where I was, trying to educate people about it and get conversations started. And I found out things were going so fast. It was really so much to keep up on, to do every week. And so I pushed it back to once a month. Now, where I'm at with what I put together in this outline is that I would hope that a group of people would be getting together on a monthly basis, be able to do like a networking group, and everybody's, kind of doing something interesting related to this. That's where their interests come, and in being a participant in this, so they could give a quick update of what they're working on and what kind of resources they might be looking for. So different fractions or groups of people, or people that we know, we can make introductions and we can connect on the various initiatives and the ideas that would come forward in this, allowing us to form partnerships and working groups on more targeted topics or projects, so that more can get done. So, because we're not going to get everything done in a group like this, there's just too much to do and too many opportunities. So everybody's going to have their pet project or what they are the most interested in. And my piece is that I want to bring it together and help people as a facilitator for that. So what I was hoping is that we would, again, have kind of an introduction format where we're all trying to collect various resources. So I read certain books or listen to audiobooks, and I follow various websites. Other people have different websites and information sources. Let's collect them in somewhat of a repository so that we can all learn from each other and connect with new resources and information, new applications. And you already mentioned a couple applications applications that I'm not familiar with, some that I've played with and some that I haven't, and so forth. So, and perhaps I know of some things that you haven't tried yet. And so
Mhm.
if everybody can share that information, that I think that repository would be great. And we could use a mind map, we can use a Google Doc, we can use some kind of a other tool if that's what's preferred for people. People can share their experiences. Hey, I tried this thing in this prompt or whatever in ChatGPT, and this is what I got. It was fascinating because of, and that's actually how this started. I'm part of your group, the Aravana, and somebody had posted a couple things that started getting really just too thick in there. So I said, hey, let's break off into a group and we can start talking about these things. And some of that conversation has gone on, and people have shared a lot of information in the group. So if you're seeing this video and you want to participate in this group, I'll put information in the comments below, and you can reach out to me, and I'll gladly connect you with the group of people that are hopefully going to get more involved as time moves on. This is the first one, so
Yeah.
we're just kicking it off, and I'm really glad that you were able to come here, because you're really kind of the impetus of a lot of the movement that's going on in that area. Another piece of this is I'm heavily involved in the Venus Project. I'm starting a podcast for some of their volunteers and some roundtables called The Voices of Venus. And with that, I learned that Nate has some really interesting ideas related. And Nate is one of the board members and folks that lives on site at the Venus Project in Florida. And he's been working a lot with the archives of all of the information and lectures and so forth that Jacques Fresco has done over the years. And what he thought would, in one of his comments in an interview I was watching, he said, well, wouldn't it be cool if we could have ask Jacques, what would Jacques say? And that would be a really interesting archive. Jacques had a little bit of a bite in some of his delivery, which I think would be pretty interesting. And so if we could capture that kind of a personality pulling from his archives of many of his interesting ideas, into a chatbot, I thought that would be fascinating. I thought it was a great idea. So I did invite Nate, and I think he'll get involved in the future. And there's probably other people that have some good business ideas and things that they think would benefit the overall communities that we're all trying to build. Because the most important takeaway that I get from paying attention to artificial intelligence is that it is going to significantly transform our society. And all of the projects, the Aravana Project, the Venus Project, and many of the other communities, the Network State, etc., we're all having this discussion around creating a better society, a better place for people to collaborate, better ways for us to collaborate and communicate and save the planet. And that's really important for the sustainability of our society. As we get through this transition, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, a lot of things that can be incredible. So with all of that excitement and all of that activity, it's really important that we have good conversations, get more people talking about this, and find better ways to collaborate as we're on this journey, forward with the redesign of a global society.
Yeah, AI is gonna play a significant role, not only in the future of our planet, but in the future of our common direction. And so I think anybody who's really paying attention is so slowly beginning to see the world change. And I think our common direction should begin working with AI and adopting AI into our methods quickly. Because then maybe we'll be able to have a positive influence. Because part of the AI itself is it's supposed to represent a model of the real world. I mean, in AI development, they even call it like the real world model, which is oddly enough also what Auravana calls the standards themselves. And so I think there's a lot we can do. Yeah, I was hoping Nate would be on the call today. If Nate listens to this or somebody else, this is something I've been able to do, just kind of like a tip here for people who have an NVIDIA graphics card and would like to play with Llama 2, you can download Llama 3, the newest Meta model or Facebook Meta's
Mhm.
model, and you can pretty easily install that on your computer. But if you want to do it even easier, you can download Chat RTX. I think you need an RTX graphics card if you're able to do that, and there's a bit of an instruction on what to do. And you can basically, this is onto your local machine, you can basically embed files from your local machine. So Nate with the Venus Project could download Chat RTX. If he had an RTX graphics card, he would be able at the present point in time to take, if the files he has of Fresco's work were in some sort of a text file, he could
Yeah,
actually do those
transcription.
embedding. Yeah, he could do those embeddings now with Chat RTX. Just go online, type in Chat RTX, download Chat RTX, find the folder that it creates the embeddings from, embed it, click the embed button, and then you can actually begin talking with your data right now. You don't even have to go through the
Oh, that's
slightly, but not more complex process. And that's with Llama 2. They have some other models there too, some other LLMs. So you can play with those. I think one of them is even a multimodal. One of them is a more of a graphics model. But it's really not that difficult to download Llama 3 and get Llama 3 working on your machine either. I think you need an appropriate graphics card though. But
could you do me a favor?
yeah,
In the mind map, you should have editing privileges. Put those in the mind map so that we have the links to those applications and
I'm
that sort
actually
of thing.
I'm on my phone at the
Well, you
moment.
don't have to do it right now. I'm just saying,
Okay, all right.
let's get this information so other people can look that
Yeah,
up.
definitely.
Because,
Definitely.
I'm also one of my clients. I worked for the United Nations and the International Labor Organization on this incredible encyclopedia. They have this archive of fantastic information, pristine medical, peer-reviewed data. And one of the things that they're looking at is taking it out of being a website, which is old tech now, and turning it into, which, it came from an encyclopedia collection, now then into a website and digital, and then now to take something like that into a really fantastic search capability. But if it can scan all this information, now it's in a text format. Then that would be fantastic. So I'm going to play with that and make some recommendations with that for those folks, because it's really exciting to see all these tools are that we can do amazing things with. Um,
Yeah.
so let's what I'm planning to do is try and get this put together as a regular monthly get together for folks. And what I was hoping for some kind of a format, if you're looking at the screen, is that we'll have sections where we can do introductions, like a minute or two a piece. Everybody can kind of give their pitch of what they're working on or update, that kind of a thing. And then we'll have a summary of whatever we've talked about in the past so that people can get caught up if they haven't had a chance to see the archives, or at least links to the archives, those kinds of things. I like the idea of presenting a book a month, because if we can all be learning some of the same information, and it might be, one of the books that I just read that is fantastic is called The Coming Wave. And it was put together by the guy that wrote or that started DeepMind. And I'm horrible with names. The names in the spreadsheet. Anyways, and Mo Gadot also has a great book called Scary Smart. These are really great books to kind of get in and get a broad overview, which is important for people, and that will help us also be thinking about how we can integrate these technologies into this whole redesign of society, because that's a whole nother journey that we're all on learning. You really gotten in depth with your standards. Okay. And then you've got this other collection, for example, with all the lectures of Jacques. Each of these are journeys, and there's other tracks as well. There's so much information for us to consume, and there's great thought leaders that are doing this every day. Tom Beaulieu and so many others that are pushing these the threshold and getting information out to people. So there's so much to consume, and it's happening so fast that if we can help each other, steer us in directions that's going to help us have a better consensus as a working group, I think that can be helpful as well. So The book I recommend to everybody that I just finished and I'm going to listen to it again. It's called The Coming Wave. So look it up on Amazon, get the audiobook, check it out. That's my recommendation for the book of the week. And then what we can do as part of this, if there's a book of the month after we give, perhaps somebody from the group gives a presentation on either a project they're working on or share some information. Like if let's say that you did a tutorial on how people could set that up. That would be a great presentation that would benefit the group. But so if people have those kinds of presentations or something, we can plan those out. So the group is helping everybody learn and grow. And that would be what I would hope we could do. But after that, we could talk about the books, what people thought was exciting about that. And then any other, if there are several projects that are going on within each of the participants, there might be 20 participants with 4 projects, and somebody will give reports on any projects or initiatives that are underway that are related to where we're applying what we're learning in this group. And so I hope that will give a good outline for folks of how we can collaborate and work together. And so again, there's a big list of tools. You have Llama, Perplexity, Palm, Grok, Claude, GPT. There's so many others. You mentioned several others. Feel free to add those to this spreadsheet, and then eventually we'll find a better way to start gathering more, or where are we going to keep the information? Because a mind map can get pretty cumbersome if different people have different ways of organizing their thoughts and duplicates and that sort of thing. So we'll find a way to maybe we'll use a chat client to organize it. So
yeah, that could be useful.
So Travis, what are some other things that you think would be beneficial for us to do in creating a community of folks that are talking about artificial intelligence as it applies to growing this movement of eco-friendly villages and societal transition?
I think we have to get a group of people together who are really passionate about this topic and doing something related to this topic. And if we can get a group of people who are working on our common direction together to openly discuss, this is what I need. I think what many of us are looking for, essentially what you described. We just need to find a group of people who are really passionate about this, understand that this is in many ways the future, and are actually pursuing this on some sort of monthly basis. If we're able to put a group like that together, and I would, as I'm here anyway, I would like to participate in that. I know how important that is. And in fact, I'm working on the development of our own AI. It's been going for longer than I would like, but and we've actually separated into phases. This is just one phase of a 3-phase, 4-phase actually. I don't want to go into the phases right now. I think that's beyond our discussion here. But yeah, if we were able to set this up with a group of people who are working on this direction and also working on some AI development, or just interested in AI and willing to read a book, or willing to do some tutorials and then share their knowledge with us. I would like to participate in that, and I'm hoping that other people listening to this would like to participate and learn from us, and we can learn from them. There's a lot of sharing that needs to go on here. There are a lot of AI communities I see developing and people marketing their AI communities. There are a lot of AI streamers right now, some good news from them, but many of these individuals are not closely associated with our direction. So although it might be interesting to go onto their channels and maybe you learn a new prompt, maybe you learn a new AI, they're not so closely associated with our direction like this working group could be. So yeah, maybe in our next meeting, I'd like to, maybe we share this more openly with people associated with our direction. Maybe next meeting we'll have more people join who are working on something, or at least see the potential for this creating significant change for our common direction.
I agree. Now, there are 14 members in our community group, which came from, you have quite a few in your Aravana WhatsApp group. Now they're in different time zones, many of them. So,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes that's a challenge, and I can understand that. And we could, you know, if people have comments about, you know, an altered time, you know, I could be open to that or flexible to that as well. But if you want to participate in this group or you're seeing this video, again, reach out. We'll have links and information in the comments of this video so that you can make the connection, and we'll invite you to the group. We'd love to have your participation. For all the folks in the TVP project, please join us next time if you're interested in how we can leverage AI to improve the processes and the collaboration. You know, there's things like the DAOs and various applications that are already proving themselves as good, you know, transaction management systems, which is part of the decision-making processes and those kinds of things that are really important for communities. And then you know, another shout out to everybody else in the Aravana project and any of the other projects that we are interacting with. Let's invite them to this if they're interested in artificial intelligence, and see how we can make this grow.
Definitely.
All right.
I'll share.
We'll keep it short because, you know, it's just the two of us, but
Yep.
you know, next time this is a battle call to let's get busy and start sharing information.
Yes, everyone, please join us next time. Yeah, we
Thanks.
need that.
Thanks again, Travis, and
Thanks,
we'll
Chris.
see you on the next one next month. Probably this similar time. I'll put the post of the meeting in the comments. Take care. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Stop share. And then where do I got to hit the off button here? Where are we here?
Are you on YouTube? Are you streaming
Oh,
on?
there it is. Yes, I am on YouTube. It's just it moves around when I click button.